So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, text 40. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadhishthanam uchyate eter vimohayati esha jnanam avritya dehinam. The senses, the mind and the intelligence are sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. So last few weeks, we have been hearing that Krishna is saying, Arjuna asked Krishna, oh, why does one engage in sinful activity, even though one does not want to? So Krishna said, it's lust. What is this lust? This lust is our desire to enjoy separate from Krishna. Lust doesn't mean only the lust for sex. No, lust is any desire to enjoy separate from Krishna. Now, Krishna is telling Arjuna, where is this lust situated? Where is it situated? So let's see. He's saying the senses. Our senses means our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, mouth, hands, legs. That's where lust is. Then he's saying mind, our mind, and also intelligence. And so we can see how this lust is there practically. It's just bewildering us, it's covering us. That's what he's saying, covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. And what's the real knowledge? What's our real knowledge? Anyone? Our real knowledge is that we are not this body, but we are the spirit soul, eternal servant of Krishna. But because of our desire to enjoy separate from Krishna, this knowledge has gotten covered and we are in ignorance. So the enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul. And therefore, Lord Krishna is giving hints of those places, so that one who wants to conquer the enemy may know where he can be found. So Krishna is giving us an indication where is this lust. Because he says that this lust is the all-devouring sinful enemy of the living entity. So lust is our enemy actually. And what is lust? Our desire to enjoy separate from Krishna. That is our enemy. That is what is keeping us here in this material world. So mind is the center of all activities of the senses. And thus, when we hear about sense objects, the mind generally becomes a reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification. And as a result, the mind and the senses become the repositories of lust. What are the sense objects? Sense objects is like for the ears, sense object is sound. The ears, we always want to hear some sound. We want to hear some music, or we want to hear someone speaking. So, and for the eyes, the sense object is form. The eyes want to see something always. They want to see something. And then for the skin, the sense object is touch. We like to touch comfortable things. For the nose, the sense object is the smell, the fragrance. We like to smell nice things. So like that, we can see how for the tongue, the sense object is the taste. So we can see how the senses are always attracted to the sense objects. We cannot artificially close our eyes and say, I'm not going to see anything. No, they will just push us to open and see. We cannot artificially pinch our nose and say, I'm not going to smell anything. Or artificially close our ears and say, I'm not going to hear anything or touch anything. They will drive us mad to do it. So what shall we do? What we have to do is, we want to smell something, smell the flowers that are offered to Krishna. So we see a beautiful flower. So we say, okay, let me offer it to Krishna, because Krishna knows how to enjoy this flower properly. Let me offer it to him, and then I can smell the fragrance. So like that, we are purifying our sense of smell. Otherwise, the mind will just drive us. Oh, why don't you smell it? Why don't you smell it? Okay, sure, we smell it. You offer it to Krishna, and then we smell it. Or we want to hear something. We always want to hear. Oh, what did she do? What did he do? What was he wearing? What was she wearing? Oh, how did it happen? What happened? So we all have that desire to hear news. So this news, we can hear the news of the pastimes of Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Krishna book, from Caitanya Charitamrta. We can hear then that, because we all have the propensity, oh, what he did, what she did. So we can hear, oh, what did this devotee do? What did he do? What did Krishna do? Like that, our hearing will get purified and we will get attached to Krishna in that way. So next, the intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next door neighbor of the spirit soul. So when the mind and the senses are both not controlled, then even our intelligence is not controlled. We are supposed to use our intelligence to control the mind, and with the mind control the senses. But what's happened is we are not doing that. The senses are driving us everywhere like crazy. I want to see this, I want to eat that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And so the mind is always crazy. It's all over the place. Imagine these senses are pulling us in different directions. The eyes want to see something, the ears want to hear something, the nose wants to smell something, mouth wants to eat and speak something else. So imagine at every moment we are being drawn in so many places. So where will the mind go? The mind is going to go crazy. Let me do this, let me do that, let me do this. And then what happens? The intelligence is also lost in that. Whereas it's supposed to be the reverse. So the lusty intelligence influences the spirit soul to acquire the false ego. What's the false ego? And identify itself with matter, and thus with the mind and senses. So that is the false ego, that I'm separate than Krishna. That is the false ego that is the ignorance. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoying the material senses and mistakes this as true happiness. So we are thinking whatever pleasure we are getting by indulging in sense gratification. What is sense gratification? We do the things with which our senses get some relief, some pleasure, and we think this is happiness. We think we are going to be happy if we hear this. We are going to be happy if we smell this. We are going to be happy if we eat this. We are going to be happy if we see this. But all that is just an illusion of happiness. It's not true happiness. True happiness is only in connection with Krishna. There is no happiness in sense enjoyment. What we experience is just sense gratification, which gives us an illusion of happiness. This false identification of the spirit soul is very nicely explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.84.13. So then what happens is the impersonalist, he says, oh, okay, so there is no true happiness in this world. The happiness in this world is an illusion. So this whole world is an illusion and I'm the Brahman. No, but that is the wrong way. That is just being frustrated and thinking, oh, grapes are sour. No, it's not that. There is no true happiness in this material world, but the material world itself is not an illusion. We thinking we are the body, that is the illusion. The material world exists, very much it exists. And right now we are very much inside the material body. We are inside this body. That's not an illusion, but the illusion is we are thinking we are the body. You know. So yasya atma buddhi kunape tridhatu ke svadi kalatra dishu bhauma iya ijyadihi yatirtha buddhihi shalilena karhichej janeshva abhijesu saeva gokharaha. A human being who identifies this body made of 3 elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsman, who considers the land of birth worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge there, is to be considered like an ass or a cow. So Bhagavatam is very clear on its position. Bhagavatam does not make any misleading comments. It's very clear. Bhagavatam is very clear. What is Bhagavatam saying? That if any human being, if we think that we are this body, that I am this body, and I think that whoever is related to this body is mine. Could be my children, my parents, my spouse, my friends. And then whoever thinks that because I'm born in this place, this land is very worshipable. It's a great place because I was born here. And who goes to the pilgrimages only to take a bath. Simply to take a bath. I'll go to the pilgrimage, I'll take a bath, and then all my sins will be gone away. But that's not the real purpose of going to the place of pilgrimage. The real purpose of going to place of pilgrimage is to meet the pure devotees and to hear from them. Not only to see, oh, the devotees are there, but to hear what are they speaking about. And if one doesn't do that, then Bhagavatam considers this person to be like an ass or a cow. Means no better than an animal. No better than an animal who cannot understand what their own self-interest is. So it is in our own self-interest that we should think, okay, I am not this body, but I am in this body. Then what I have to do? I should hear from the pure devotees. I should hear with attention and submission. I should follow what they are telling me to do. And so what is Bhagavatam also saying? Who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsman. So we think that we are protected by our family, our friends, our spouse, our children, our parents, but none of this can save us. At the time of death, nobody can save us. Nobody can save us from death. Nobody can save us from disease. Nobody can save us from becoming old, no matter how much they love us. And we can't save them either, no matter how much we love them. You know, we can't stop anyone from getting old, or we cannot stop anyone from undergoing the pain they undergo. No matter how much we want to share their pain, we can't do that. We can't. So what do we have to do? Hear and chant, and give this hearing and chanting to others. Connect others to Krishna also, to help them also to improve their situation. That's the best thing that we can do. Is that okay? Any comments or anything to add or any question?
No, all good.
So we heard in this verse that lust is there in the senses, in the mind and intelligence. And that's what's covering our knowledge. And then what shall we do? Just engage our mind and senses and intelligence in the service of Krishna. Automatically the lust will turn into love. That's the only medicine. That's the only way. So that's why we are encouraged to hear and chant. Yeah. So we continue reading from the next verse. Would you like to read? Would somebody like to read?
I can read.
Okay, thank you.
Tasmatvam indriyanadau niyamya bharatarshava papmanam prajahiyenam jnana vijnana nashanam.
Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses, and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. The Lord advised Arjuna to regulate the senses from the very beginning so that he could curb the greatest sinful enemy, lust, which destroys the urge for self-realization and specific knowledge of the self. So Krishna is saying, right away, you cut out this lust. How? By regulating your senses. How do we regulate the senses? Engage the senses in the service of Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. By engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. the senses will get purified and we will engage gradually our desire to enjoy separate from Krishna will go away. So Gyan refers to knowledge of self as distinguished from non-self, or in other words, knowledge that the spirit soul is not the body. So what is Gyan? I'm not the body, I'm the soul. The soul and the material body are different. Now, what is Vigyan? Vigyan means scientific knowledge. What is Vigyan? Means application of knowledge. What is it? Vigyan refers to specific knowledge of the spirit soul's constitutional position and its relationship to the supreme soul. So knowledge is, okay, I'm not the body, I am spirit, I am the soul. I'm not matter, I'm spirit. But what is scientific knowledge? Okay, now that I understand that I'm not the body, I'm the soul, so what should I do? What is my position? What am I supposed to do? Or what is my relationship with the supreme soul? I'm not the supreme soul. There is another supreme soul. And so what is my relationship with the supreme soul? That is the application of knowledge. That's the scientific knowledge. It is explained thus in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.31. Jnanam parama guhyam me yat vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tad angam cha grahana gaditam maya. The knowledge of the self and the supreme self is very confidential and mysterious. But such knowledge and specific realization can be understood if explained with their various aspects by the Lord himself. So it's not very easy. We can see that out of so many billions of human beings, how many of us are actually trying to understand who we are? You know, how many? It's not very easy. It's a confidential matter. And we do not even have universities teaching about this. Prabhupada would say that this education should be given right from childhood, but there is no one. Nowhere are we given this education that, hey, you're not the body, you're the spirit soul. So this knowledge, where are we getting it from? We are getting it from the Supreme Lord. Krishna is giving us this knowledge. Bhagavad Gita gives us that general and specific knowledge of the self. We have been hearing Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna and to us. It's not that we just have to hear, oh, Krishna spoke this knowledge to Arjuna, so this knowledge was only meant for Arjuna. And just by reading it, I can just declare, yes, I've heard the Bhagavad Gita. No, but this knowledge is for us to apply it. We have to apply this knowledge. That is what the Bhagavad Gita is all about. The living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord, and therefore they are simply meant to serve the Lord. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So this is what we have to come to realize. This is the reason this whole material creation has been manifested by the Lord. This is the reason we are here in this material world, just for us to realize that I am a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore it is my duty to serve the Lord. And this is Krishna consciousness. So from the very beginning of life, one has to learn this Krishna consciousness, and thereby one may become fully Krishna conscious and act accordingly. So we need to be trained in this. There's a process. What's the process? So we have to take up the Krishna consciousness process. We have to take up this Krishna consciousness process so that we can be situated in our position. Yes, Vishal, you had a question, or
my question is, out of so many shlokas and instruction given by Lord, if we follow very few of them, still we are okay, still we are in the good category, or or it's not even close to going to the Lord, going back to the God.
could you be a bit more specific?
In the way, like, okay, his instruction in every chapters there are specific instructions for us so that we can go back to Godhead. But if practically in today's world we cannot apply all of them and we just apply few of them, is it good enough to please the Lord, or it has to be complete? For complete, all the instructions have to be followed.
So when you say apply one of them and not all of them, do you mean you're rejecting the other instructions, or you accept that, yes, those are also correct? But
Yeah.
right now, I can just, right now in my position, I can just apply this.
Yes, because I have accepted few of them. So definitely I accept all of them, but it is practically not possible for me in certain conditional situation. I cannot apply all of them at personal level.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that's all.
maybe it can be my ignorance, it can be my lazy, it can be any reason. But my question is, if I also apply few of them, still it is okay to please the Lord, or it is not complete? Because in actual life, in practical life, okay, I cannot say that, okay, I just study half my textbook and I will go and appear for the exam. No, it doesn't like, work like that. But especially in case of Lord, he being so merciful, is it possible to even just follow few of the instruction and expect to please him?
Yeah. So Krishna says that you offer me a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, but offer me with love. So if we just follow this, we are pleasing him. He says, become my devotee, offer your obeisances to me, worship me. If we are doing this, we can please him.
But won't it send a wrong message that, okay, now if I'm daily offering leaf, whatever, Pashpam, Putram, Phalam Toyam, all of them I'm doing it. I'm just out of the whole Bhagavad Gita, I'm just following this instruction. Is it enough?
Well, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, what's that? Ye mam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajami aham. As you surrender to me, as to that degree, I will reciprocate. So you know what? So it's how much we are wanting to dive deeper into our relationship with Krishna. And it's okay for Krishna. It doesn't matter to him.
Okay, so it doesn't, it's just a mat. When he says, okay, it's just when Srila Prabhupada says, it's just a fraction of second, you can surrender to Lord. That is also one situation, and not instruction by instruction, or like, the verse or the statement you can say made by Lord, that to how much degree you surrender, in that much I reciprocate. You're saying that, right?
Yeah, to that degree, I reveal myself to you. Yes.
So it is. Isn't it like, contradictory when Srila Prabhupada says that in a fraction of a second you can surrender, and Lord says that, okay, you can reveal to that. I'll reveal to you on the basis of the degree that you surrender to me. Like, isn't it contradictory?
No, it's not contradictory, because surrender, so depends on how much are we surrendering. Are we surrendering completely, or are we surrendering partially? Like initially, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, and he says, okay, now I am a soul surrendered unto you. I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. You kindly instruct me. So at that time, Arjuna said, okay, I surrender unto you. And that surrender was necessary for Arjuna to begin hearing the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita. Then he heard the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, and then he totally surrendered in the 18th chapter, when Krishna tells him, okay, now you heard the instruction, what you want to do. Now it's up to you. You want to fight or you don't want to fight. It depends on you. And Arjuna said, okay, I will fight. You know, he totally surrendered at that time. So it depends on us. How much are we surrendering? How much are we attached to the material world? Basically, all comes to our desire. What do we want? How much do we want to please Krishna? That's also depends on us. Everything, Krishna is just reciprocating with our desire, basically. He is very kind, very merciful. He's Bhakta Vatsal. Whatever is our desire, he is giving us. We want to surrender unto him completely, then he will make the arrangement for us to surrender completely. We want to surrender partially, he accepts that also. All depends on us.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice, very nice question. Thank you. So from the very beginning of life, yeah, we'll let that. Last is only the perverted reflection of the love of God, which is natural for every living entity. So we originally, the spirit soul, the natural tendency of the spirit soul is to love Krishna. That's the natural tendency. But just because we have gotten this desire that I want to enjoy separate from Krishna, that is what is that love has turned into lust. So this whole material creation is for us to give up that wrong mentality, that wrong desire. Then how to do? But if one is educated in Krishna consciousness from the very beginning, that natural love of God cannot deteriorate into lust. So what we have to do is just engage in the process of Krishna consciousness, hearing, chanting, following the 4 regulative principles. Gradually, the natural love which is there in our heart, in the heart of every living entity, that will begin to manifest. Because it's not the love for Krishna that we have is not artificial. It's not that we have to put it there. No, it's already there. We just have to uncover it. Right now, it has been buried under a lot of our material desires. That's all. And it depends on us whether we want to uncover it or no. You know, that depends on us. When love of God deteriorates into lust, it is very difficult to return to the normal condition. Nonetheless, Krishna consciousness is so powerful that even a late beginner can become a lover of God by following the regulative principles of devotional service. So here, Krishna is saying, started from very beginning of life. But many of us did not get that opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness right from the beginning of life. So what do? Does it mean that, oh, our human life is wasted? No. Srila Prabhupada is saying that Krishna consciousness is so powerful that at any stage, we can take up the process of Krishna consciousness. So from any stage of life, or from the time of understanding its urgency, one can begin regulating the senses in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord, and turn the lust into love of Godhead, the highest perfectional stage of human life. So Prabhupada is saying, once we understand that it's a matter of urgency. Why is it a matter of urgency? Anyone? Why is it a matter of urgency to take up Krishna consciousness immediately? That we should regulate our senses. We should connect our senses, engage the senses in service of Krishna. We should connect all our activities for the service of Krishna. Why is it urgent? Anyone?
Because the goal should be to try and reach the destination in this lifetime, because we've got the human birth. So we must take full advantage of this. We could have been born as animals and we wouldn't be able to go through it. So we have this and we must try and reach in this birth itself. But yeah, at least if not, we can at least start the journey by doing whatever we can do. And then this is one thing that will, the bank account which you can take forward basically. So you can always carry it forward. But to start the journey to reach should be the urgency.
So, but then why should it be urgency to start it now?
Because it can be done in human life only.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we can give up, and this life, we don't know. Maybe we just have one moment left. You know?
Yeah, that is uncertain. Absolutely.
That's why it's so urgent. We don't understand. Why is it urgent? Because we don't know how much life is left. I will still live 20 more years and then I will do it, you know? We think that. Like there was the story, I don't know if you all remember this story, if you all have heard, that there's this man, I forget his name. Anyways, Narad Muni goes to him and says, Narad Muni tells him, come with me. I'll give you the best. I'll give you the highest thing that there is. Come with me. Engage in devotional service. So he says, I think his name is Kailash or something. I'm not sure. So he says, okay, wait, I still have, so many duties to perform. You know, my children, I have to settle them, get them married. I have my business to look after. So I'll do it, you know, what's the urgency? I'm going to do it. Don't worry. I'll come with you. Just let me get them married and let me settle them and let them understand the business and then I'll come. So
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, what I have heard is that Narad, actually it is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma wanted to take back Indra back to the heavenly planet because because Indra was cursed by some, I don't remember the Muni, and he was punished with the body of a hog, you know. So after few thousands of years, Lord Brahma went to Indra to tell him that you need to go back, you need to come back home, like, you know. He personally came to take him, but Lord Indra, being a hawk, he was asking a lot of questions, like, you know, will I be, like, you know, will I be having so and so my wife or my food in heavenly planets and all that. There was something story like that. I don't remember exactly the name of the Muni. He was cursed. Lord Indra was cursed by one Muni because he didn't pay him respect or something like that. And after Lord Brahma telling him that all the facilities you will get in heavenly planet, he was still so attached to his, like, you know, hog's life, asking Brahma all kind of questions that, okay, if you take me back, can my family come with me? Like, can my hog wife or my hog children can come with me? Will I be getting all the food which I'm eating right now? What hogs do eat? Will I be getting that in heavenly? He was asking such questions to Brahma, and so it is like when, like, you know, people are so attached to an animal is so attached to its life that, like, you know, it is nowadays in Kali Yuga, we humans are like that same. Though we are getting all the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, but still we don't apply it, like, you know, we don't want to use it and still be attached to our material life.
Yeah, that's one story. Yes, thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's in the context of how we get so attached to whatever position we are in. Even if we are in the body of an animal, we get position and we think that's the highest. As you said, Indra is asking, will I get pig food in heaven? You know, why would you want pig food, which is so abominable, but we still are so attached. That's right. Thank you for sharing that. But what I'm talking about is this urgency. So we think that, oh, it's not urgent. I still have time. So in this, so Kailash says, now I'm still busy. I still have my family duty. So Narad Muni says, okay, I'll come to you after some time. So Narad Muni comes after some time. Kailash's children were married. He had grandchildren. So then Narad Muni says, okay, now you come. You said after your children get married and you have grandchildren, then you will come come now with me. So then Kailash says, no, Narad Muni, now you see, my children have just started getting established in business. Right now, they are just able to understand how the business is to be handled. So they still need my guidance. And my grandchildren, I need to guide them how they can bring them up. They need my guidance. Otherwise, without my guidance, they will not know how to bring up these grandchildren. So they still need me. And they do not know how to manage the money, So I need to do that. Then Narad Muni says, okay, I'll come after some time. Now Kailash was really old. Narad Muni came, said, now come, you're already now so old. No, now you see my children, they've still not learned how to manage, I've tried how much I tell them, they still don't know what to do, how to do, what time's supposed to be done, what's not supposed to be done. My grandchildren, look at them. They're not behaving in a right way. I'm telling them, get married. I need to see that they're properly married. I want to see them getting married to nice people. I want to see my grandchildren are happy. So Narad Muni said, okay, Kailash, I'll come after some time. So he came after some time. Where's Kailash? He's not there. He's dead already. Kailash was not there. So Narad Muni was looking out, where is Kailash? He saw there was the dog. The dog was Kailash. He was so attached to his family that he had become the dog over there because he was always wanting to take care. My family is okay. My family is okay. He kept on saying that, no, I can't go now because I have to take care of them. So he became a dog and he was barking and barking. And then they were beating him. His same children that he was so attached to were beating him, because he was like a dog, stray dog kind of, but he was always around the house trying to protect. He was thinking, I'm protecting my children from the burglars. One day that dog died. Again, Narad Muni came. He had become a snake because he was trying to protect the wealth for his children. And then they were beating the snake because the snake was there lying around. Before there was not paper money. Now everything is electronic. You don't even see the money. Everything is on the internet. Don't even know if it exists. But anyway, before days, it was physical money. So the snake would sit on it. And so the sons were beating up that snake. This was Kailash himself. He was trying to protect these same people who were beating him up. And Kailash died, and Narad Muni said, I tried to tell you. You said you don't have time. You don't have time. Till now you're saying you don't have time. What's wrong with you? When will you have the time? Now is not the time. I still have to do this. I still have to do that. So that is for us to understand that we have to take up this Krishna consciousness as a matter of urgency, because otherwise our attachment, we are going to create many more attachments. Oh, my children, this, now my grandchildren, my children's my children's spouses, then my grandchildren's spouses. It can be never ending. So, and life will just go by like that. We won't even realize when life finishes. So we should try to take up this Krishna consciousness with enthusiasm right away, without waiting that, yes, I will take it up with enthusiasm later. No, now is the time, not later. Anyone wants to add anything? Any comments?
No, all good.
Anyone wants to add any other story? It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. So then I hope we can take up this Krishna consciousness with urgency, trying to understand that this is the best thing for me that I can do for myself. No matter I like to do it, I don't like to do it. I like to chant, I don't like to chant. Let me just do it. I heard that this is the best for me. Let me still do it. Let me just do it. Let me give up this lethargy. Krishna says to Arjuna, give up this lethargy and fight. So that's how we should give up this lethargy which is holding us back and take up the hearing and chanting. You know, we say, no, I don't have time. I need to do this. I need to do that. But this is the most urgent thing for us to take up. So let's encourage each other to take up the process of Krishna consciousness with faith, with determination, in a matter of urgency. So we can all go back home, back to Godhead in this very life. No need to take another life again. Why do we want to come back again to this material world? You know, why do we still want to stick around here? So let us encourage each other in this endeavor. Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.